Good afternoon, my dear friends. Welcome. Today, I also have my pet dog, Scooby, who you could see walking around in the background. Actually, you can see him back there in the couch. Scooby, hello. Hello, Scooby. You may want to say hello to him. So, I just thought that I could do like a short video with my pet around and add to the energy of the place. No fluff. Why are marriages breaking today? The emotional disconnection, living together but not feeling together anymore. I think a lot of us are feeling that, aren't we? And not talking about it. However, what is concerning is that if it doesn't get addressed timely, the aftermath of the same will be felt or visible in our old age, past our prime. Mismatch, still accommodating, very few, not too many are accommodating anymore. Secrecy, ego, infidelity, slowly all these things are killing this beautiful constitution called marriage. The main villain in this murder, I think, is clearly, which is the winner, hands down, is the mobile phone. It is texting, which is crossing all boundaries and making sure that marriages are falling apart. Ego battles, loss of respect. I'm trying to make it sound also very normal, but these one or two lines can cost lifetime, years of battle with each other, no resolution, and absolutely no understanding as to what is the best way to address an issue which could have saved lives of all around in the family. Lack of introspection and accountability, therefore, no correction. These are some of the things I'm talking about which are adding to why marriages are breaking so easily these days. Over involvement of family members at times, and sometimes in cases where family is not involved at all, can also be seen as one of the reasons why marriage is breaking, because it suits them to not get involved. And sometimes having right people give right advice at the right time can save the damage that would have otherwise not happened or taken place. So, what are some of the modern day triggers, in your opinion? Please feel free to share in the comment section. I'm sharing with you what I thought are some of my observations and some of the stories that we keep hearing, and therefore I keep making these reels from real life examples and experiences. So, modern day triggers today is social media, us versus them. So, a very high bar of comparison at all points in time, keeping us alert, on our toes, wanting to outdo other couples at any cost, whether or not it fits in with our personality or our goals as a couple in the first place. Careers also invading emotional space in a very, very big way and in a very, very fast pace. Women today are more career oriented than they ever were, which has its pros and its cons. We all know about it. But they're definitely gnawing away into relationships. And anxiety, dissatisfaction, narcissism, all of these things, which were words we would primarily read, are now slowly turning into practical examples in our lives. The biggest red flag, I think, is definitely instant gratification. I think we are living in times of the blink it world, as we say, and people expect immediate payoff. So anything that has slow returns is always seeming very unattractive and worthless. We don't want to spend time on it. Escapism is a new trend. What a trend, I must say. Avoidance is easier than working things out. And sadly, commitment is being accepted poorly as an option. I'm sure there is a very deep meaning which all mature audience can understand what I'm trying to say through this line. But marriages don't break in a moment. It ends and erodes in silence. It erodes in ego. It turns into Cold War. And ultimately, I think neglect seals the pack. In India, still, statistically, 1% of marriages end up in divorce, which is the lowest actually in the world. And contrary to perception, we think that there is one country where largest number of divorces happen, which is not the case. Maldives is a leading, has the highest divorce rates in the world. Again, since we're living in a very, new trend world, the new trend these days is LAT, living apart together, where people are emotionally broken and therefore they say they do not want to go through the laws of divorce and the formalities of divorce, and so they will start living apart from each other and yet save the marriage. I'm not sure how many years that kind of an arrangement can work, but that is apparently a shocking new trend and a tool to save marriages. So if a man is promising another woman marriage, but he's still living apart from his wife, trust me, it's a tool. India globally is ranking the lowest, not purely because of stigma alone, but also because the legal exit procedures are very, very uneasy. So that makes divorce rates, I think, comparatively low, because getting any divorce here is a much more longer and a tedious process. And to make things look a little more brighter than they are, some startling funny questions I have which turn into a battle in marriages. Let's say, hear this. Why does what you want to eat become the biggest fight in a marriage? Happens in your home? I'm sure it happens in almost every home. Almost every day, once a day. How does one person snoring lead to people exploring living apart together? Why does romance start with flowers and peaks at arguing over mobile chargers and air-conditioned temperatures? So end of the day, it's not about winning an argument, one above the other or one upmanship over the other. It is about choosing each other again and again. So it's not just rain all the way. There is some sunshine to look forward to. We will catch up on a detailed chat over marriage and the shifting trend in marriage with a lawyer very soon. Please stay tuned to see that video, which will be up very soon, provided you want to see it. Thank you for hearing me today. See you.